Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? This popular quote from Walt Disney's 1937 animated film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is what most people remember the evil queen saying to her mirror. But what if I told you that the evil queen did not actually say this to her mirror at all, but instead said this?
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
So as you can see, she does not say mirror, mirror, but rather magic mirror. So why does such a large majority of people remember it that way? This is known as a phenomenon called the Mandela effect. I am here to inform you about the Mandela effect, its history, some examples, and possible explanations. The Mandela effect is a conspiracy theory that occurs amongst a large number of individuals remembering the same wrong fact, but yet the theory lacks a concrete explanation to it. Today, I will share with you what the Mandela effect is, examples of it, and possible explanations behind this occurrence. To start off, what is the Mandela effect? Well, according to paranormal researcher Fiona Broome, the Mandela effect is a phrase people use to describe their own powerful memories that don't seem to match our recorded history. This makes this theory so powerful because you are so certain and so convinced that what you remember is correct. The other thing is that a wide range of people also seem to misrecall the same events. Overall, it is a mass misunderstanding that people undergo. The name of this theory comes from the South African anti-apartheid leader and political activist Nelson Mandela. He was incarcerated in the 1960s till 1990s, serving 27 years in prison. In the words of Dr. Don Lincoln, some claim to remember him dying in prison in the 1980s when in reality he was released from prison, helped overturn apartheid, and even became the president of South Africa for 5 years. Nelson Mandela actually eventually died in 2013. Researcher Fiona Broome was one of those people who believed that Mandela had died in prison. When she found this out, and she found out that many other people were like her, she wrote about her discovery, thus coining the Mandela effect. Ever since then, she has been writing about her findings that fit this theory. So now that I've spoken about the origins of the Mandela effect and what it is, let's get into some examples. There are many examples of the Mandela effect in popular culture. Some of the most common include the Bernstein Bears. If you're like me, you remember the Bernstein Bears ending in an EIN instead of the actual Bernstein Bears ending in an AIN. So although this is a minor difference, the fact that so many people remember the EIN ending makes it so unusual. Some other examples include Jiffy peanut butter. Jiffy peanut butter is actually just Jif peanut butter. Curious George actually does not have a tail. The Monopoly Man does not have a monocle. And the Fruit of the Loom symbol does not have a cornucopia behind it, as you can see here. Now think of the color chartreuse. What comes to mind? For me, I thought of the color magenta or a pinkish color. And I remember searching on the web for this a couple years back and finding that my thoughts were correct. Until recently when I looked it up again and I was completely wrong, and chartreuse is actually a shade of green. So now that I have given you some examples, let's examine some explanations to these occurrences and why our memory acts this way. While there are theories of alternate universes and multiple realities, science has another explanation for how the Mandela effect happens. Ken Drinkwater, a researcher on cognitive development and parapsychology, explains that the Mandela effect is caused by false memory. He writes, the unconscious manufacture of fabricated or misinterpreted memories is called confabulation. Confabulation occurs when the brain attempts to fill in the blanks for incomplete memories, and in order to complete the story of their mind, they mix and match experiences. Many people recall that they like things they haven't actually seen. UCLA PhD candidate in neuroscience Caitlin Absad adds that the Mandela effect is caused by suggestibility as well. So she states that if one person claims that the actor Sinbad starred in a 90s movie about a genie called Shazam and can recall details of the plot and make others believe the same thing, then the suggestibility makes other people believe it's true. So, in conclusion, the Mandela effect is a popular theory that gets people thinking about the way our minds work. Today, I have gone over the theory itself, examples of it, and possible explanations to how it all works. I hope this helped you gain insight on the Mandela effect and get inspired to look more into it. So next time you think to yourself, are your memories real, or is there something else at play?